No. Got your back.
Start with the beginning. What is mentally, emotionally, and work really hard on being good at
Healthy mind, healthy body, healthy life. Soul Food on Smooth 98.1.
Da 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 da. Time to feed your mind, your body, and soul right here on Soul Food on Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. 6 minutes past 8 o'clock. Sorry about the lateness. Issues beyond the control, technical glitches. You understand all of that. And that's because my guest is joining me via Zoom. But before that, you can go to our YouTube stream to be a part of it. That is youtube.com/smooth 981 FM Lagos. Again, youtube.com/smooth 981 FM Lagos. You can be a part of the show by dropping your comments right there, asking your questions, your observation, or the clarification you are seeking. You can also send your WhatsApp messages to 0809-444-0981. Did I say 8 month? 81. That is because I have it stuck in my head that June is Men's Health Month. And I just wanted to say the two together. So 0809-444-0981. But you can call 01448-9981 later on. Okay, so my guest is no stranger to the show at all. He's a therapist, a mental health advocate, a coach, and the founder of Real Consulting. His name is Toluse Francis. Good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thanks for having me here.
Thank you for waking up early to be here. I hope you got enough sleep as we'll be talking about insomnia.
Yes, I did. I did.
All right, then. So that's the topic this morning, insomnia. And for the millionth time, the whole of June is for men, dedicated to talking about issues related to men. So be a part of it. Jump on the train if you have a father, brother, uncle, or male figure in your life, husband also. Tell them to always tune in and be a part of the discussion because it is important. We have said that according to studies, men do not have an excellent health-seeking behavior. So we'll bring those things to your ear, your doorstep, that place where you cannot escape the information so that you can take your health better or more seriously. So insomnia is definitely a sleep disorder, right? That
Yes,
you basically can't sleep well, or maybe you can't stay asleep. That is the basic definition, I believe. And even though data has shown that women are more at risk for developing insomnia, it does not mean men do not go through it or suffer it as well. Now, let's talk about the effect. I just want to jump straight into the effect of insomnia. Or is there something you'd want to say before we jump into the effect in men, especially?
No, we can go ahead. I mean, you've already given the definition of an explanation of what insomnia really is. So we just go straight to the side effect.
Yeah.
And I actually think that the side effect is not just for men. I believe it's kind of like general. So it's often said that water deprivation doesn't kill as fast as sleep deprivation. Because your body is wired to shut down at certain times, right? So the body understands that, the body understands time zone, which is why sometimes when you move from one country to another, your body tries to adjust to that time zone, especially if it's wide apart, right? I remember the few times I've had to travel to countries that are just 1 hour behind Nigeria. It took me a while to adjust to the fact that, okay, this time zone has changed. And then, because your brain works around everything, right? So your brain understands that this is morning, 8:09 a.m. Another person, another country, it's 7:09. For some other persons, they're still in yesterday. They're still experiencing June 9th and not June 10th. So in the end, our brain processes information and understands that, okay, it's time for you to shut down. Don't forget that sleep is what we call temporary death, as it were, because your system hibernates. At that point where your system hibernates, it's trying to bring everything back together, all the scattering that has happened in the course of the day, all the disturbances, the movement here and there. It's trying to bring everything back together to say, okay, now that you're resting, let me carry out my work of repairing what needs to be repaired, correcting what needs to be corrected, so that when you wake up the next morning, you're good to go, you're refreshed, you're relaxed and all. Now, when you are not able to sleep, what happens? You find yourself in a situation where you're working on overdrive. You might even be restless, right? And see, the truth is, sleep deprivation can even lead to some level of mental disturbances. So look at it this way. Imagine a car, you have a car, right? And the car is expected to travel at certain distance per hour, kilometer per hour. And then you experience a bump while on top speed. You have that boom kind of sound. You know that you'll be conscious to check, hope nothing happened to my tires, hope nothing happened to this and all that. Now, when you park the car, you expect that your temperature gauge, right, will show, when you are driving rather, expect your temperature gauge shows that everything is okay. It tells if your car is overheating or not. Now, when you park the car, you're expecting that when you come back, to an extent, your engine would have cooled off and stuff like that. But imagine you have an engine that is overheating. After a while, that engine overheating will begin to spoil a number of things. So number one thing that we need to realize is insomnia can create an issue with concentration and memory, right? You find it difficult to concentrate. I'll give an example, an experience, give an example. I'm not sure if I've shared it on this show before. Back then in secondary school, in fact, that was when I started taking coffee. That was my coffee journey. So I used to take it dark. I'll read overnight. And my practice was, if I read overnight, I would play before going to that examination hall. But this particular day, I read overnight with my coffee and then read into the examination hall again. And then I had the battle of memories. I couldn't remember Jack. Everything was clashing. I couldn't focus. I couldn't sleep, yet I was sleepy. Now, at some point, I finally got a nap. And then just that few minutes of nap that I got, was my seat partner who woke me. I was like, dude, you're sleeping, you haven't written anything. Just that few minutes of sleep that I was able to get brought some things back to my memory. But for days, I couldn't sleep. And it destabilized me completely. So you have issues with memory, you have issues with concentration, you can have issues with high blood pressure. In fact, the worst of it, you can have coronary heart disease. You see, our body is an engine. We must understand that the body is an engine. And that's why, for those of us students of biology, your body system is broken down from a cell to an organ to a system. So you have a cell, you have an organ, your kidney, for example, right? You have a system, circulatory system, respiratory system, because it begins from the minute, from the unit of the body up until the next level, which is a combination of units, and then to the next level, which is a combination of other bigger units. And so you must understand that, like a machine, if one part is spoiled or if one part becomes faulty, it could affect the functioning of another part. I like to use a car as an example. When something is wrong in a part of your car, it can affect another part of your car from functioning. And so when people are not able to sleep, it can affect, definitely the moment memory and concentration is impaired, it affects your productivity. It affects your relationship with people. It affects your interaction with people, your social lifestyle, your work-life balance, a whole lot of things. And they now begin to have the health challenges itself from issues ranging such as cognitive issues to memory, which is cognition, to coronary heart diseases, to high blood pressure, because palpitations, you can't sleep, you are restless. And that's the annoying thing about insomnia at an advanced level. The body wants that state of rest, but you are not giving it. Now, not because you don't want to give it, but because it's not coming. And that's why, based on diagnosis, there's what we call sleep laboratories, where they try as much as possible to see why are you not sleeping, and then put you through a series of brain tests to see what's going on in your brain, right? And then put you through that particular process to make you to see how you can sleep and stuff like that. So I often tell people, you can still deal with that without having water until your salivary gland cannot produce saliva anymore. But you see, sleep, don't try it. No matter how short. I was telling someone some days back that when I was in secondary school, you know, when you go for morning devotion and then you just go take that 30 minutes, 15 minutes nap, it's usually the sweetest of sleeps. You compare it with the one that you had all through the night.
Yeah.
We call it morning siesta in those days. But the truth is, sleep is very paramount. It's very important, and sleep deprivation can actually cost a whole lot. I'll stop there for now.
Thank you very much for that elaboration. It is very, very helpful. And now it means that either you're a man or a woman, the effect of sleep or deprivation are the same. And just to clarify, there is nothing that makes it worse in a man, right? It's still the same.
It's still the same, because in the end, you look at it, well, people would say that men, especially that men are thinking of how to make ends meet, how to provide for the family and stuff like that. But I like to look at it this way, that it all depends on their family dynamics, right? But then there's that pressure that is put on a man in the society. There's that pressure that the society automatically, without even asking for it, doesn't matter whether you have an immediate family or not, the society expects you to behave in a certain way. But then we all are not born into the same kind of family, into the same kind of financial strength, the same type of behavioral strength. Some are still struggling to understand who they are. Some are still struggling to even find themselves, their identity. Now, you can't find yourself in that situation where you're now struggling to locate where do I fall. And just something that someone has done and everybody celebrates, and someone tells you, look at your mates. Look at your mates. Look at your gender. Is that not someone like you? Can spiral into you thinking all along and finding it difficult to even sleep. Now, the funny thing about insomnia is it starts gradually. It doesn't just come once. It starts gradually, from you having shortness of sleep to you not being able to sleep at all. And it becomes a lifestyle. You see, when people come to say, I don't really sleep, and it has become like a status thing, like I don't sleep. I laugh and I tell them you are gradually killing yourself. You may not see it physically in your body right now, but in years to come, as you grow older, it will tell on you. I used to have issues with sleep, many years back. In fact, when I was during my youth service days, they used to call me kerosene, because I'll be the last to sleep and the first to wake. So I remember then a few times I'd gone to sleep at the NCCF family house, Nigerian Christian Corpus Fellowship family house. they will tell each other that if you want to wake up early, just tell Toluse, because everybody is expected to wake up by 6. This dude will sleep at 1, wake up by 3. And once I wake up, I'll be pacing the entire compound, you know, and all of that. But it's not a lifestyle that one should enjoy, right? Yes, scientifically expected to get 8 hours of sleep. Some will say in this Lagos, with this economy and all that, can you get 8 hours? See, some quotations or some quotable quotes that people have also read, sleep is for the poor, sleep is for the weak, sleep is for this, are damaging. So as much as possible, sleep. I would say as much as you can, sleep, because I know that if I come here to tell you, get 8 hours sleep, get 5 hours sleep, you come to say, that's not my reality. I don't have that luxury and all that. But sleep. Your brain needs to reset. Your body needs to reset. Your organs need to reset. You need that refreshing time. Again, people sleep, yet they don't sleep.
What does that mean?
Good. So people shut their eyes to sleep, but their brain is still working. And so they wake up tired. That's not sleep. Because in reality, yes, your eyes were shut. We assumed that you were sleeping. But in the sleep realm, you were walking. And so you find people wake up to say, I'm having a headache. My head is heavy. I'm tired. But you just woke up. Yes, but I'm tired. A lot of times, it's been realized that they were actually not sleeping. And the reason is because you slept, in quote, worried. You slept thinking. You slept with a problem on your mind. And so even while you were sleeping, so to speak, the problem was still surfacing in your sleep. So it becomes like something chasing you, whether you are awake or you are asleep.
Thank you so much. That definitely pains one of the causes of insomnia, especially in men, which is stress, worrying, anxiety is, if I can infer from what you have explained, is one of the causes. Now, what are some of the other causes of insomnia? And I think, again, it's important to reiterate that insomnia is not just an ability to sleep. It is in stages, right? You've got the chronic one. Yeah. So now, what are the other causes of insomnia?
So let's look at causes of insomnia. Again, if you're looking at causes of insomnia, I'll start with general male, yes, and then we'll look at the elderly, because the causes in the elderly can be a bit different than the causes in men general. So the one that I know that a lot of men would not want to hear, especially if you work in a city like Lagos, Nigeria, is eating too much in the evening, eating too much or late in the evening. Trust me, because your digestive system is not expected to work when your body is at rest. When you eat, the food is expected to be burnt, if I can use that word, as you work, walk, move around. But when you eat and you sleep, you can have some disturbances in your system because digestion is not happening. Digestion is prolonged, right? Again, when you eat too much, you put so much stress on other organs of your body. So don't eat too much late in the evening. If you want to eat late in the evening, eat light, right? Poor sleep habits. The way some people sleep anywhere, anyhow. You need to cultivate a good sleeping habit. And I will list some of them. Turn off the light in your room when you want to sleep. Your eyes are light sensitive. And that's why there is night. Why there is day and night. That's why the night is dark. Because once night comes, the body says, hey, it is time for me to rest. Can you get a place to rest? When it's telling you it is time for me to rest, you are feeling dizzy. It's telling you it is time for me to rest, you are feeling dizzy. The next thing to happen is, look, I don't even care where you are right now. You start dozing. So your body, your brain, your system understands darkness. And your eyes, because they are photosensitive, they are light sensitive, needs that darkness to sleep, so that the moment it is shut out of the light, everything comes back to me. You're not a plant that needs light to photosynthesize. So cool, also regulate your temperature where you sleep. Not too hot, not too cold, just enough, right? Lay your bed properly. Lay your bed properly. If sleeping with pillow is conducive for you, use it. If it's not, throw it away. Sleep in a posture that is helpful, with your back, with your side, or with your chest on the bed. However, if you eat later now, you know that you've eaten not too long ago, please do not go to bed like that. So you don't throw up or have food going through the wrong passage. Check your travel and work schedule as well. So check your travel and work schedule. That's another thing that could cause insomnia. So for example, anytime I travel and I have to lodge in a hotel, it takes me like 2 to 3 days to acclimatize, right? I have that challenge. Same thing I have with food. Each time I change a location and I'm eating, as soon as I'm done eating, White House calls, right? So understand your system and understand how your system functions and look for how to actually make things work for you, right? So that you can't say you're going for a walk trip and you're not sleeping, and then you get to your meeting venue and everybody's up and bubbling and you are there singing Hallelujah chorus with your head, right? You don't want to find yourself in such a situation. And I think another one that I'm going to mention just before I move on to the elderly is stress. Stress. I think I tried to talk a bit about that earlier on. Stress is a big deal. And stress can come from academic stress, financial stress, relationship stress, anything, environmental stress. Identify your stressors and look for how you can actually deal with the stressors.
Okay.
So basically, that's that. It's just a bit different for men, because for elderly men rather, because for an elderly man who is sedentary, right, it's not moving here and there, it can be a bit, worrisome when they sleep most part of the day and then the night comes and then they begin to struggle with sleep. And so there is that change, there is that reverse of what the norm is for them, and then they may begin to have the restless leg syndrome, right? And also a lack of sleep in the elderly can lead to dementia, Alzheimer's, chronic pain, respiratory issues, depression, and anxiety. So in all, it's important that people check this and pay attention to it as those things come. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now we need to make it as short as possible. I have a question from Cisco Delgado, who says he resigned his job in 2021 as an Internet Security Operations Center engineer, and he has worked as a Network Services Management Center engineer since 2008, where they run night shift. Now, funnily enough, he says that they always have coffee and milk chocolate machine during night shift, but ever since he resigned his job, he finds it very difficult to sleep. If he goes to bed around 12 a.m., he must, in capital letters, wake up at 3 a.m., and that is giving him great concern. So how can he turn this thing around?
So let's look at that basically. Your body understands routines. And so for over the years, he has worked with that routine where he does night jobs. And the body has gotten used to, at this time of the day, you should be awake. If I ask him, it's possible that during the day, he has a bit of sleepiness in him, but he's not able to sleep. And then at night when he sleeps for short hours, I reckon. And to be very honest, night shift is one of the difficult kind of shifts. Because while people are at work during the day, You are struggling to sleep. Worse still, on your way home, sleep is banging at the doors of your eyes. And there is a way this can even create some sort of a headache for you, depending on your system and or some form of dehydration and stuff like that. So I think what Dagado can do is to seek help. And I'll say seek help because there is a way psychiatrists and sleep professionals can help regulate that sleep. So I used to be the kind of person that my body doesn't start calling for sleep until 12. And if I sleep from 11, I start feeling sleepy. By 12, if I don't sleep by 12, then maybe I will not sleep all through the night again, right? But then I realized that no matter when I sleep, my body tends to sleep for only 5 hours. Why? Because over time as a student, while I was working some jobs, I had that consciousness that I had to be up at night to do certain things and stuff like that. And so the body has already understood that routine and said, okay, this is how we are going to be working, right? So when you have that change, the body is struggling to like, okay, so now you are telling me to adjust to what exactly, right? So he would need to look at his itinerary, look at his day and see, okay, do I go to bed early and see if I grab so much sleep, or do I go to bed late and then wake up at the time I want to wake up, depending on his time? But then I also would recommend that he speaks with a psychiatrist. Then he also needs to ask himself, what can he see as the effect of his not sleeping as long as he would want to? Is he productive during the day? Is he mentally fit during the day, or does it affect his productivity? Also, he's going to have to be realistic with himself. What goes through your mind before you go to bed at night? One thing I need to say here is before you go to bed at night, clear your mind desk. Clear your mind desk. If there is someone who has hurt you during the day, let it go before you go to bed. If there's someone that you're catching feelings for and the thing is disturbing you, dump it before you sleep. If there is some form of debt that you owe and has been haunting you all day, just tell yourself tomorrow is another day, we go again. You just need to go to bed with that mind of, I am going to sleep. Today's worries are enough for today. Tomorrow we go again.
Thank you so much. And if you're listening, I'm sure that you can already pick the treatment or the management options for insomnia. But just to cap it, what are some of the other ones? I mean, you've mentioned lifestyle changes. You've mentioned clearing. Number one is you need to understand your triggers or your stressors or whatever thing that is resulting in that insomnia, and then modify them or circumnavigate the situation. Now, what about people who cannot go to bed without medications?
So, I mean, I'm not against medication as long as they are medically prescribed, because what medications do is to create an hormonal balance for you. So it induces the sleep, right, and forces your system to regulate, get back to normal, so you wake up refreshed. Now, if you're consistent with the medications that have been prescribed to you, or after a period of time, your body would understand that message and you'll be able to leave off the medication. Now, speaking from experience, I've once been there where I had issues with sleep during my period of clinical depression, when I was diagnosed with clinical depression, anxiety, and stress. I couldn't sleep. I had issues sleeping. And when I began my therapy session and see my psychiatrist, medications were prescribed. Now, medication was to help me sleep. Because, so this is the thing I will say about therapy. There is the aspect of therapy, and there's the aspect of medication where psychiatrists might need to prescribe some medications. Because what therapy helps you do is your cognition, your thoughts and all that. What the medication helps you do might have to do with your hormonal balance and your mood regulation. So medication will help you sleep. And if you are true to it and you follow the prescription and everything, after a period of time, your body would adjust and understand that I am supposed to sleep at this certain time. and sleep for these long hours, because if they give you 50 mg, the 50 mg is calculated, because that's why I tell that, look, all these, for those who understand Yoruba, all these it can do all things for you kind of drugs. The prescription that is given to you, the way it is measured is based on your body mass index and stuff like that. So it becomes an overdose when it is too big, too large in terms of weight for your body to hold, right? So the prescription that is given to you needs to be followed, and we follow it righteously. After a while, your body understands and you won't need the medication anymore. So sleep deprivation or insomnia is actually treatable. It can take a while depending on how quick you're able to detect it and report for care, but it actually has treatment if you reach out to professionals and others. So you're not expected to live on the medication all through your life. If you follow through, your body would understand at a certain point, and you would, just try one day and just don't use the medication and see how you would sleep, and then go on like that, go on like that, go on like that. What happens is there's a tendency for you to be dependent on the medication. And it's like that for medications that we call serotonin reuptake, right? So it is possible that you find yourself, in quote, addicted to the medication. Your brain just tells you if you don't use it, you cannot sleep. If you don't use it, you cannot sleep. But that's why you also need to help yourself. Say, you know what, I don't want to live on this medication all my life. How can I get better? Exercise, eat well, adjust your room, make your room inviting to sleep. Take work out of the room. Have your room conducive for you to sleep, so that when you get in there, your brain tells you, dude, that bed is calling you, and not that you're working on your bed. And so you need to also make some of those changes, even if you're giving medication.
All right, we're out of time. Thank you so much for your time and the explanation. Thank you for the education that you have given to someone, and I'm sure that many questions have been answered. So please do take heed. We want you to be better. We want you to be healthy. And of course, you cannot achieve that without getting enough sleep. So that's it on the show for today. And next week, we'll continue with another. Thank you again for listening. If you want to keep up with Toluse across all social media platforms, how can you do that again?
My name, Toluse Francis. Toluse Francis, one word.
All right, that's how you can reach him on social media platforms. We'll save this video for you on YouTube. You can share it with the fellow men and women, because insomnia is not gender specific at all, even the elderly ones and maybe the children, right? Just make sure you seek help, because once you are able to nip it in the bud, you will live a life full of quality. Yeah, a life that is filled with really good choices, and you'll be able to make them because of the concentration that you will get from sleeping well, which is one of the key points. If you don't get enough sleep, you might not be able to maintain concentration and focus. Thank you again. And now on the other side, 8:40, you will be listening to Curious Minds, and the children are invited to come around as long as they are between the age range of 6 to 15 years of age. This is Smooth 98.1. We are so over time. Thank you.
Yes, on YouTube.
Yeah, I know. All right, now